For decades, well-meaning health advisors have repeated the same universal advice to aging seniors. If you want to protect your heart, stay active, and preserve your joints, all you need to do is lace up your sneakers and go for a long daily walk. However, from an orthopedic surgery perspective, relying exclusively on high-volume daily walking after the age of 60 can often act as a double-edged sword that quietly accelerates joint cartilage wear and strains aging spinal structures. While walking is undeniable for cardiovascular circulation, every single step taken on hard concrete surfaces transmits ground reaction forces equivalent to 2 to 3 times your total body weight directly up through your heel bone, knee joint, and lower lumbar spine. When your articular cartilage padding has already thinned due to natural biological aging, thousands of repetitive pavement strikes create continuous micro-impacts that compress fragile joint capsules and trigger localized synovial inflammation. Even more critical is the biomechanical fact that walking operates primarily in a single forward plane, completely failing to activate and strengthen the lateral stabilizing muscles of your hips, deep gluteals, and inner quadriceps. Without targeted activation of these core stabilizer muscles, your lower extremities lose their protective shock-absorbing capacity, forcing your cartilage and subchondral bones to absorb the violent mechanical forces of daily movement. This explains why millions of dedicated senior walkers routinely experience worsening morning knee stiffness, chronic hip discomfort, and persistent lower back tightness despite walking several miles every single day. As an orthopedic surgeon who has examined thousands of worn joint capsules, I can assure you that your aging joints do not need more repetitive pounding. They desperately require targeted, low-impact muscle activation and fluid restoration. What if orthopedic rehabilitation science showed that practicing 5 specialized, non-impact exercises can build bulletproof joint stability, increase muscle mass, and lubricate your cartilage far better than 10,000 steps on hard pavement? These 5 surgical-grade movements are specifically engineered to isolate key muscle groups without placing a single pound of destructive compressive impact on your sensitive articular cartilage layers. By replacing repetitive pavement strikes with these gentle, highly effective exercises, you immediately halt cartilage degradation, reduce systemic joint inflammation, and restore fluid mobility throughout your hips, knees, and spine. Furthermore, these targeted movements stimulate the cellular synthesis of thick, nutrient-rich synovial fluid, bathing your joint tissues in natural shock-absorbing lubrication after every single practice session. You do not have to accept persistent joint soreness as a normal tax on staying active, nor do you need to push through sharp pain just to achieve your daily fitness goals. Your biological system retains a remarkable, lifelong neuromuscular capacity to rebuild stabilizing muscle fibers and enhance joint fluid circulation, regardless of whether you are 60, 70, or 80 years old. In this comprehensive medical breakdown, Dr. Robbert will guide you step by step through the exact biomechanics and execution of these 5 alternative exercises, right from the comfort of your living room. These gentle movements require no athletic machinery, take less than 10 minutes to complete, and can be easily adapted to any physical fitness level or joint condition. By incorporating these 5 orthopedic secrets into your weekly health routine, you can safeguard your lower extremities, enhance your physical balance, and secure lifelong independent mobility. Before we demonstrate the first exercise together, let us examine the internal biomechanics of how repetitive pavement impacts affect thinning articular cartilage after age 60. Let us look closely at your leg muscular anatomy and joint capsule biology to understand why low-impact muscle activation is the ultimate secret to pain-free longevity. Sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and prepare to discover the transformative medical exercises that will protect your joints and elevate your health for decades to come. To fully comprehend why high-volume daily walking can accelerate joint wear after 60, we must examine the biomechanical concept of cumulative mechanical loading on thinning articular cartilage. Articular cartilage possesses no direct blood supply or nerve endings, meaning it receives oxygen and nutrients exclusively through the fluid sponge effect generated by mechanical compression and relaxation. However,
right,
when
let's
you
try
walk
a seated
thousands
wall
of
press.
steps on
Hand on the
unyielding
wall, press
pavement,
gently,
the rate of
release.
continuous
Now,
impact
press
compression
again.
far
Excellent.
exceeds the
Keep it up.
fluid reabsorption rate, causing cartilage tissue to temporarily dehydrate and flatten. For younger adults with thick cartilage layers, this fluid loss is easily tolerated, but for seniors over 60, repetitive flattening leads to direct microabrasions on subchondral bone ends.
Good posture
This
is
explains
crucial.
why
Engage your
orthopedic
lateral legs
surgeons
by pressing
recommend
them outwards
replacing
against the chair.
high-impact pavement
Now,
walking
relax and
with
breathe deeply.
low-impact,
See the difference?
targeted muscle activations that pump joint fluid without compressive shock. The first superior alternative exercise revealed by orthopedic science is the seated gluteus medius side press with isometric wall resistance. This specialized movement targets the lateral hip abductors, specifically the gluteus medius, which serves as the primary pelvic anchor, preventing your hips from sagging during daily movement. To execute exercise 1, sit upright in a sturdy chair, positioned parallel to a wall, keeping your spine erect and your knees bent cleanly at a 90-degree angle. Place the outer edge of your right thigh and knee firmly against the wall surface, and press outward against the wall with 30% of your maximum strength. Hold this isometric side press for 6 full seconds, breathing deeply while feeling the lateral hip muscle fire intensely right below your iliac crest. Release the outward pressure slowly, take a calm breath, and complete 8 to 10 deliberate repetitions before turning your chair to train your left hip. Strengthening the gluteus medius restores horizontal pelvic alignment, immediately eliminating lateral shear forces that cause inner knee joint friction and hip joint impingement. Because this exercise is performed while seated against a static wall, zero impact forces travel up your leg bones, allowing your hip cartilage to rebuild without irritation. The second surgical-grade alternative exercise is the standing quadriceps arch activation using a soft exercise ball or towel. This movement isolates the rectus femoris and vastus medialis without requiring deep knee bending or placing dangerous shear loads across your patellar tendon. Stand tall behind a sturdy chair for balance support. Place a soft exercise ball or rolled towel between your inner thighs, slightly above your kneecaps, and gently squeeze inward. While maintaining a continuous inward squeeze, slowly rise onto your tiptoes over 2 seconds, engaging your calves, inner quadriceps, and core stabilizers simultaneously. Hold this elevated position at the top for 3 full seconds, focusing on keeping your kneecaps tracking directly forward, before lowering your heels slowly to the floor. Complete 10 controlled repetitions of this elevated arch squeeze to build powerful, multi-joint lower extremity stability without pounding your joint capsules on hard pavement. Let us now explore exercise 3, designed specifically to decompress compressed lumbar vertebrae and release tight hip flexor tendons caused by prolonged sitting. Exercise 3 in our orthopedic alternative routine is the seated pelvic tilt with abdominal isohold, engineered specifically to relieve chronic lower back stiffness and decompress tight hip flexors. Prolonged sitting followed by long walks on hard pavement often causes the pelvis to tilt forward excessively into an anterior pelvic tilt, jamming the lumbar facet joints together and straining the lower spine. By practicing the seated pelvic tilt, you engage your deep transverse abdominis and posterior pelvic rotators, gently pulling your sacrum back into neutral alignment and opening up compressed vertebral spaces. To perform exercise 3, sit comfortably in a firm chair with your feet flat on the floor. Place your hands gently on your lower abdomen and inhale deeply through your nose. As you exhale slowly through pursed lips, draw your navel inward toward your spine. Tilt your pelvis slightly backward to flatten your lower back against the chair backrest, and hold for 4 seconds. Feel the deep contraction in your lower abdominal wall as your lumbar vertebrae decompress, relieving tension along your sciatic nerve pathway and reducing lower back pressure. Inhale calmly as you return your pelvis to a neutral upright posture, and repeat this therapeutic tilt for 10 slow, rhythmic cycles. This gentle pelvic re-education eliminates the hyperlordotic posture that causes chronic spine compression, ensuring that your core muscles support your body weight rather than your fragile spinal discs. The fourth surgical-grade exercise is the standing hamstring glider with heel contact, designed to fortify the back of your leg and improve hip extension without joint strain. Most daily walking relies heavily on quadriceps power, leaving the hamstrings and gluteus maximus chronically underdeveloped and unable to support posterior hip stability. Stand tall while holding onto the back of a sturdy chair for balance. Place your right heel gently on a smooth floor or slider disc, and keep your standing left knee slightly soft and unconstrained. Slowly slide your right heel backward along the floor while squeezing your right glute muscle at the end range of motion, keeping your torso completely upright without leaning forward. Hold this posterior contraction for 3 full seconds, feeling the deep engagement along your upper hamstring and buttock before sliding your heel smoothly back to the starting position. Perform 8 to 10 controlled repetitions on your right leg before switching to your left leg, building dynamic hip extension power that protects your lower back during daily activity. Strengthening the posterior chain restores balance between the front and back of your leg muscles, absorbing mechanical energy that would otherwise pound into your knee joint capsules. The fifth and final alternative exercise is the seated calf pump fluid flush, designed to activate your venous muscle pump and restore synovial circulation throughout your lower extremities. Sit comfortably in a chair with your legs extended slightly forward. Lift your feet off the floor and alternate pumping your toes pointed forward and pulled backward in a rhythmic waving motion. This simple ankle movement engages your gastrocnemius and soleus muscles, pumping pooled fluid out of your lower legs and driving nutrient-rich blood back up toward your heart and joint capsules. By practicing these 5 low-impact alternative exercises regularly, you build a resilient, balanced muscular sleeve that protects your hips, knees, and spine far better than walking on hard pavement. Let us now examine the vital biological nutrients and daily recovery habits that maximize cartilage hydration and repair while practicing this routine. The first major mistake that many active seniors make when trying to stay fit is forcing themselves to walk through persistent knee or hip pain, mistakenly believing in the old adage of no pain, no gain. When you experience sharp or aching pain during movement, your nervous system is issuing an emergency warning signal that articular cartilage is being pinched or subchondral bone ends are experiencing microtrauma. Pushing through joint pain only accelerates structural cartilage tearing and triggers inflammatory fluid buildup, so always switch immediately to non-impact seated exercises the moment pain signals occur. The second critical clinical mistake is ignoring proper footwear architecture and walking barefoot or in flat, unsupportive slippers on hard tile or hardwood floors at home. Barefoot impacts on rigid, unyielding surfaces send raw shock waves directly up through your calcaneus bone, forcing your knee joints and lumbar spine to absorb forces that cushioned footwear should eliminate. Wear supportive indoor shoes with arch support and shock-absorbing rubber soles to protect your articular cartilage from unnecessary friction during daily indoor steps. The third error is performing sudden, explosive movements or rapid directional changes without allowing your joint capsule time to warm up and secrete synovial lubrication. Cold, dry cartilage tissue is brittle and highly susceptible to micro-tears under sudden shear stress, whereas warmed cartilage is hydrated, elastic, and resilient to mechanical forces. Always spend 2 to 3 minutes performing gentle ankle pumps and seated leg extensions before embarking on any physical routine to prime your joint fluid. The fourth major error is neglecting core abdominal stability while performing standing exercises, allowing your pelvis to collapse forward and dumping weight into your lower spine. A relaxed core forces your spinal erectors and hip flexors to work in overdrive, jamming lumbar vertebrae together and restricting blood flow to surrounding lower body tissues. Maintain a gentle, conscious contraction of your deep lower abdominals during all standing activities to keep your pelvis neutral and protect your intervertebral discs. The fifth critical mistake is drinking water only when feeling thirsty, failing to realize that thirst is a late symptom of cellular dehydration. Because articular cartilage relies heavily on absorbed water molecules to maintain its spongy shock-absorbing height, Chronic mild dehydration causes cartilage to shrink and lose elasticity. Sip fresh water consistently throughout your morning and afternoon to ensure your joint capsules remain fully hydrated, pliable, and buffered against daily movement forces. By eliminating these 5 destructive habits, you immediately remove the constant mechanical stress and biological friction that wears down aging joints. Instead of subjecting your knees and spine to repetitive pavement impacts, adopting low-impact targeted movements allows your joint tissues to heal, rebuild, and thrive. Let us now transition into integrating these 5 alternative exercises into a simple, effective daily routine that fits effortlessly into your morning schedule. This structured daily blueprint ensures you achieve optimal muscle activation, fluid circulation, and long-term joint stability in under 10 minutes a day. With consistent practice, you can look forward to years of confident, pain-free mobility without ever having to worry about joint deterioration or balance loss. Welcome to the 5th and final phase, your daily 5-exercise orthopedic blueprint for ultimate joint stability and lifelong mobility. Consistency is exponentially more effective than high-intensity overexertion when it comes to strengthening, stabilizing muscle fibers and protecting aging cartilage matrices. Start every single morning immediately after waking up by drinking a tall glass of fresh water to hydrate your cartilage tissue after hours of nocturnal rest. While seated comfortably in your morning chair, begin with 10 repetitions of the seated gluteus medius side press against a wall to engage your lateral hip abductors and level your pelvis. Follow immediately with 10 repetitions of the standing quadriceps arch activation, squeezing a soft ball or towel between your thighs as you rise smoothly onto your tiptoes. Next, perform 10 cycles of the seated pelvic tilt with abdominal iso hold, exhaling deeply to pull your navel inward and expand your compressed lumbar spine. Transition smoothly to the standing hamstring glider, sliding your heel backward 8 to 10 times per leg to fire your gluteal muscles and fortify posterior joint support. Conclude your morning routine with 20 seconds of the seated calf pump fluid flush, pumping your ankles rhythmically to drive nutrient-rich fluid through your joint capsules and veins. This entire multi-joint protection routine takes under 8 minutes each morning, establishing an unshakable foundation of balance, alignment, and joint fluid circulation for your day. Whenever you stand up or sit down throughout the day, maintain conscious mindfulness over your posture, driving your knees directly over your toes without letting them collapse inward. If you spend extended hours sitting for reading or relaxation, set a gentle hourly alarm to perform 5 gentle leg pumps and keep your joint fluid circulating freely. In the evening, fuel your biological recovery by enjoying a clean, nutrient-dense meal packed with lean proteins, healthy omega-3 fatty acids, and vibrant antioxidant vegetables. Within the first 10 days of practicing this non-impact alternative routine, you will feel a distinct reduction in morning lower back stiffness and knee joint tightness. Between days 11 and 20, as your gluteus medius and inner quadriceps rebuild structural tone, your balance will stabilize, completely eliminating sudden feelings of leg wobbling. By day 30, balanced 360-degree muscle support will allow you to step off curbs, climb stairs, and walk confidently without fear of joint friction or pain. Always remember that joint structural preservation is a lifelong journey that honors gentle, consistent daily care rather than forcing your body through pounding impact. Listen attentively to your body's subtle signals, honor your physical progress, and take pride in every steady, pain-free step you take toward preserving your independence. Sharing this surgeon-backed alternative joint routine with your friends and family will empower everyone around you to reclaim their active, independent lifestyles without joint soreness. You now possess the exact orthopedic biomechanics, 5 surgical-grade exercises, and daily blueprint required to protect your joints and thrive long past 60. Take charge of your lower body health today. Replace repetitive pavement impacts with low-impact muscle activation and give your hips, knees, and spine the lasting protection they deserve. This is Dr. Robbert, wishing you vibrant physical health, resilient joints, and a steady, confident stride every single day of your life.